She is screaming, and the pain is not the reason. Look at her face. Now, look at the woman crouching in front of her with both hands out. So how did ancient women survive giving birth alone? Start with the fact that almost nothing else on this planet ever needs the question answered. Every other primate catches its own baby. A monkey reaches down between her own legs, pulls her infant up onto her chest, and wipes its mouth clean. Minutes. No help, no fuss. She can do none of that. Her baby is arriving with the back of its skull against her belly. The face is turned the other way, pointing down at the grass. She cannot see it. She cannot get a finger into its mouth. She cannot reach down and lift it clear. So the second woman is not there for comfort. She is there because a human body cannot finish this job by itself. By the end of this, you will understand something about her. She is not kindness. She is anatomy. And the red patch on the ground is the wrong thing to be frightened of. It is not what kills her. The thing that kills her turns up about 20 minutes after the baby does. Nobody in this picture is watching for it yet. The problem starts with the shape of her hips. A monkey's birth canal is a simple tube, wide at the top, wide at the bottom, the same shape the whole way down. The head drops through with room to spare. Yours is not a tube. A human pelvis is widest side to side at the entrance. Then it twists. At the exit, it is widest front to back. Two different shapes stacked on each other. One skull has to get through both. So the baby turns, it goes in sideways, corkscrews a quarter turn inside her, and comes out lined up the other way, carrying a sofa through a hallway that changes shape halfway along, in the dark, while the sofa picks the timing. Nothing else on Earth does this. No gorilla, no chimp, no baboon. And when the head finishes that turn, the face points at the ground, away from her. That is the whole problem in one sentence. A monkey sees her baby's face arrive and hooks it up in one movement. Our mother sees the back of a skull. If she grabs it and pulls, she bends a newborn neck backwards against the way it wants to fold. If the cord is looped round that neck, she will never know. She cannot see it. And the head is only the first half. Human shoulders are broad. Once the skull is out, those shoulders have to make a turn of their own. If they jam, the clock becomes very short. There is a phrase for a body like this: obligate midwifery. Human birth is the only birth on the planet that comes with a job vacancy attached. So why is our version broken when theirs is not? There is a hip bone about 3 million years old, belonging to the skeleton everybody calls Lucy. Set it beside a modern one, and the difference is not subtle. Hers is wide and flat, a bowl pressed out sideways, and the head coming through it was small. No corkscrew, no quarter turn. Whatever Lucy did that night, she probably did it the way a monkey does. Then the brain went up, roughly tripled. The tidy story you have heard goes like this. Walking upright narrowed the hips. The brain kept growing anyway. The compromise was babies shipped out early and unfinished. They are certainly unfinished. A newborn chimp grips its mother's fur and rides within a day. A human newborn grips nothing and cannot hold up its own head. You are carrying that thing for a year. But I have to be honest about the tidy story because it is under attack. Measurements suggest wider hips would cost a walking human almost nothing. Arrival Idea says the pelvis was never the ceiling at all. It says the real limit is her metabolism. She is already burning at her absolute maximum by month 9. She cannot feed a fetus any longer, so it leaves. That argument is running right now, and one side of it is wrong. Whichever way it falls, the woman on the grass still has to solve it in the next hour. When anthropologists went looking, the vacancy was filled almost everywhere. Across the documented societies on record, birth is attended. Sometimes by a mother, sometimes a sister, sometimes one old woman with a reputation for it. The rituals change completely from place to place. The rules about who may enter, what she may say, what she may touch, all different. The second pair of hands does not change, which means the setting in the title, alone, was never the normal one, with one exception. There is a people in the Kalahari for whom giving birth alone was not a catastrophe. It was the ideal. It was the version you told people about afterwards. A woman was supposed to walk out of camp by herself, deliver by herself, and come back carrying her own child. They are the closest thing we have to a real test of this video's premise. What actually happened out there in the sand is not what the ideal promised. When the contractions get close, she goes. No announcement. She walks a few hundred paces past the edge of camp, sits down, and scoops a shallow hollow in the sand with her hands. She takes nothing with her. No blade, no water, no fire. Noise is failure. Screaming brings people, and being fetched back is the exact thing she is trying to avoid. Now put a clock on it. A chimp is usually finished in about 2 hours. A human first labor can run all day and roll into the next one. So she is out there on the ground with the light going. Nobody in the Kalahari has ever pretended the dark out there is empty. One woman described her own attempt at this. She walked out. She did not manage it. She came back. And she was not ashamed of it, which is the part I did not expect. Her account does not read like a failure of nerve. It reads like somebody body discovering the rules of physics. Here is the detail that finishes the idea. Women who walked out alone were sometimes followed. Somebody in camp would notice, drift out after her, and hang back far enough to protect the story, close enough to arrive. The ideal was solitude. The practice was solitude with a witness in the bushes. So they survived giving birth alone largely by not being alone, even where the culture demanded it. Which leaves a better question. What do those hands actually do? Not much, and all of it decisive. Catch the head, turn the shoulders. Clear the mouth so the first breath is air and not fluid. Unhook a cord. Hold her upright. Somebody has to deal with the cord as well. A flake of stone, the edge of a shell, a thread bitten through with teeth. Every culture picked something, and every culture argued about when. That upright part carries more weight than it sounds. Flat on her back is close to the worst available option. Squat instead, and the bones at the exit physically move apart. A real, measurable gap, opened by nothing but posture. Every culture that had to solve this found it. Ropes slung from a beam, a post to grip, a stack of stones, another woman sitting behind her, taking her weight through the chest, so her legs are free. And we still have the furniture. Under the floor of an Egyptian house, archaeologists found a brick, around 3,500 years old, solid enough to stand on, painted along the side with a woman holding her newborn, attendants either side of her. They came in pairs, one under each foot. She squatted on top and delivered down into the hands of somebody already kneeling. That is a birthing stool. It is older than most of the countries watching this. Now the 20 minutes. The baby is out. Every film ever made treats that as the ending. It is not the ending. Where the placenta was attached, the inside of her uterus is now an open wound, roughly the size of a dinner plate, fed by arteries that were supplying 2 people a minute ago. Nothing stitches that. No bandage reaches it. One thing in her body can close it, and it is muscle. The uterus has to clamp down hard enough to crush its own blood vessels shut. If it does not, she bleeds out on the grass. That is the puddle you have been looking at this whole time. So what switches the muscle on? The baby's mouth. When the newborn feeds, her body floods with oxytocin, and oxytocin is what makes the uterus contract. The thing she just survived is the thing that stops her bleeding. Not medicine. Not herbs. The child put to the breast within minutes. Her survival gets handed back to her by the person who nearly took it. Cruelest piece of design in the human body, or the kindest. I cannot decide which, and she cannot arrange that part herself while gray and shaking on the ground. Somebody has to place the baby there. Go back to the grass. She is not alone, and the reason is not sentiment. It is a pelvis that changed shape. It is a skull that outgrew it. It is a baby that arrives facing away from the only person who knows it is coming. The crouching woman is not assisting. She is the missing piece of the equipment. Ancient women survived giving birth alone, mostly by not doing it alone. The ones who genuinely had nobody are the ones missing from everybody's family tree, which leads somewhere slightly uncomfortable, so I will just say it plainly. Every person watching this descends from an unbroken run of births where somebody was there, hundreds of thousands of years of it, and not one gap. Not one. You were caught. Your mother was caught. Her mother was caught. The line runs back past Egypt, past the Kalahari, past the first fire, and it never breaks. The moment it breaks, it ends. She got up. She walked back into camp holding you. Thanks for watching. All the sources and studies used in this video can be found in the description below.